Hi everybody, I'm Gabby and this is Savannah from Mustang Survival. We're designers here at Mustang and we wanted to talk to you today about layering and what that means for marine environments specifically. So we want everyone to be safe on the water, and here at Mustang we are big proponents of not just getting your garments well layered and comfortable, but also your flotation. So that's the last piece you need to add. So we have 5 kind of main recommendations to consider when you're thinking about your activity on the water. So the first one is, what is that activity? And we don't mean just kayaking or fishing. We mean, are you going to be in the water or on the water? If you're going to be in the water, it's definitely going to have different considerations. You're going to want to try to maybe wear a dry suit, seal the water out, and also wear more layers because it's going to be colder in the water than out of the water. The second is that temperature. So as I kind of discussed, is the water and the temperature is a lot colder. And so if you're expecting a submersion, you're going to be wanting to wear a lot more layers than if you're just sitting out of the water. Obviously also, if a location is warmer, you're going to want to layer differently than if you're in a colder place. The third consideration is the environment that you're playing in. So at Mustang, we qualify that kind of as inshore, coastal, offshore, and then open ocean. So what that really means is, how far away are you from a rescue? Offshore, you're going to be a lot further away, so you're going to want to pack extra layers in case you move into a nighttime and it's going to be colder, or if you have to spend a prolonged period of time waiting for that rescue. Additionally, those environments, the further you get from land, are usually more volatile. So the weather might change more quickly, you might get an oncoming storm that clears, so you're going to want to have different layers to kind of accommodate for those differences in environment. The fourth is your level of exertion. So this, are you just standing, driving your boat, sedentary, or are you doing something more active with high exertion like paddleboarding? If you're doing the latter, you're going to want to consider that you will probably be sweating. So you're going to want layers that are thermoregulating, that you can leave on and still perform your activity comfortably, and then become sedentary and not be super soaking wet and become uncomfortable. If you're sedentary also, you're going to want to put an extra layer on because your body is not going to be producing any natural heat to keep you warm. The last consideration is the length of time you're going to be out there, which I've kind of touched upon. Generally, the longer you're going to be out on the water, the more thermal protection you're probably going to need, the more layers to accommodate for changing temperatures and different situations that you might be in on the water.
When we were designing our layering system, we took into account 3 considerations: compatibility, material, and fit. Compatibility is an important consideration when building your layering system. There are specific features you want to interface properly, things like offsetting pockets on layers so they don't create bulk in one spot, and lining up outerwear relief zippers with your base layers. More than any other environment, having clothing designed specifically for marine use is essential for safety. For us, this means using synthetic fabrics. Popular layering materials like wool and down can't withstand continuous saltwater submersion and maintain their thermal benefit once they're wet. Synthetic fabrics are much better at holding their warmth when wet. They're lighter and they have a reduced dry time, which is especially helpful on multi-day excursions.
So now that you understand a bit more behind the theory of layering, we wanted to give you some suggestions on how to select your layers. So the first layer that we want to talk about is your base layer, and that's the layer against your skin. So the main feature that a base layer usually provides is that it will be able to wick the moisture off your body. So if you're in a situation that you might be sweating a bit more, this is going to prevent you from getting that cold feeling after you're done doing your higher intensity activity. How we approached a base layer is that we thought it would be really nice to provide a one-piece solution so that it's easy to put on. You don't have to think about how it integrates top and bottom. So we've created the Kazan dry suit liner. To ensure that it really performs in that wicking category that we were talking about, is we've gone with a nice checkered fleece. So this allows you to have really nice loft and comfort on the inside of the garment, but then those little channels between the material allow that evaporation to happen and you to stay comfortable while you're doing your activity. We've added some additional kind of marine-specific features, obviously. Mainly is that we've added a completely non-absorbent material at the wrists and at the ankles, so that if you get any leakage or water ingress, it's not going to seep through your whole base layer, and it's going to stay just kind of in those areas. The second main consideration is that this one is fully compatible with all of our outer layer, so you're not going to have to take off your dry suit fully or your jacket or your bibs, because you can still go to the bathroom while wearing all of it. It's got nice drop seat in the back and then additional relief options for the men in the front. So once you have that base layer on, you're going to be nice and comfortable, but if the temperature is a little bit colder, you want to consider a mid layer. So this mid layer is going to add insulation and help you retain your body heat even more. It's also ideal for colder environments or if you want to extend your season. Our mid layer is our Torrens jacket. This comes in a hooded and non-hooded version. The main feature of the Torrens jacket is the PolarTech Alpha insulation that's found on the inside. It's really nice and soft, high loft, but what's unique about it is that it is also super ventable to help you in those situations that you might be doing something a little bit more active and then falling into a more sedentary role. This really helps with thermoregulation, so you don't constantly have to be taking your jacket on and off. The great thing about PolarTech Alpha is it also retains its warmth even when wet. So if your jacket falls in the water or gets a little moist, stowed away somewhere, it's still going to be nice and warm and it's going to dry faster. A really nice feature of these that also helps with the fit to make sure you feel snug is comfortable is it has a nice stretch panel underarm, which allows you to vent very well in that high sweat area. And just stays nice and comfortable. The last clothing layer to consider is an outer layer or a hard shell. This is going to allow you to protect yourself fully from the elements, especially if you're experiencing heavy winds or quite a downpour. You're going to want to stay nice and dry and have a nice solid barrier on the outside of all of those warm layers that you've just built underneath. So we offer a wide variety of jackets and bibs that are really good if the water is a little bit warmer or it's not as cold out and you want to have more options and more versatility. But what we're going to talk about today is really our sealed system, which is dry suits. When talking specifically about marine activities, a dry suit is always a great choice because it creates a 100% waterproof sealed system. This is going to really help you if you're worried about, falling in the water and that dramatic temperature drop that happens when you get wet. So a dry suit is going to prevent any wind or rain from penetrating your system while out of the water, and then obviously prevent water ingress if you get submerged. So we offer the Hudson and Helix dry suits. What's really great about these options is that we've fully built in relief systems in the front for the men and in the back for the women. So you can put it into standby mode or fully go to the bathroom without having to worry to completely take off your layer or take off your seals. We have a very high testing standard here at Mustang, so every suit that leaves our factory is 100% dry, so you can be confident you're going to be nice and comfortable. And it's made of our very robust marine BP fabric with additional reinforcements in the high wear areas on the knees and the rear, so you can ensure that you're going to get long-wearing 100% waterproof system. So the last and possibly most important layer that we like to say here at Mustang is your PFD. So if you are going to be recreating on the water, you want to make sure that you get home safe. Accidents happen and you want to make sure that you're fully protected with different types of buoyancy depending, again, on those 5 considerations that we mentioned at the front. We do have a separate blog post that we're going to link so that you can find more information, but we wanted to feature 2 of our most unique pieces that will help you stay safe on the water. So the first that we want to feature right now is our Mustang Survival Minimalist Belt Pack. The minimalist belt pack allows you to have a fully approved device when worn option with you at all times. It's super easy to put on, looks a little bit like a fanny pack, but the great thing about this is that it is a manual inflate, so if you are to fall in the water, you can pull on that tether there, and you're gonna get an inflatable pillow that you can pull over your head, and you're gonna be fully protected in the water. It gives you a little bit more confidence if you are going to be getting a little bit further away from the shore and you want that additional protection. We would recommend that this option is great for people that are a little bit more confident or swimmers or more comfortable in the water, because you are going to have to manually inflate it. Our next featured product is the Chimera Hybrid Inflatable Vest. If you're recreating further from shore in colder temperatures, you want to ensure that you plan for how jarring an accidental submersion can be. The safest option is to choose a PFD that has inherent buoyancy. Our Chimera is unique because it offers hybrid foam and inflatable bladder. That means that you have some buoyancy immediately upon your submersion. Once you settle into the situation, you can inflate it even more if you need to. The low profile style of this PFD is achieved through a knit face fabric that nicely contours the body and makes it really comfortable. It also provides you inherent insulation onto your core for colder days, thanks to the foam.
Effective layering will help you stay safe and have the most comfortable and successful adventures. No matter what your specific considerations are, we have the layering options for you to fit your needs for life beyond land. Tell us how you layer up before you go out in the water. What are your tips? Did we miss anything? Post them in the comments below.